Welcome to Get Offset. My name is Emily, and today I'm going to react to some controversial guitar opinions. I don't know if you follow me on TikTok, but I am on TikTok, and a couple weeks ago, I reacted to a viral TikTok asking asking someone what their controversial guitar opinion was, to which the gentleman said it is that Boss pedals are good, actually. You just don't know how to use them. So that's the one I'll start with, my reaction to that one. So here's that video.
What's a controversial guitar opinion?
Boss makes good pedals, you just don't know how to use them.
To whom is that controversial?
It's the same sweater.
To say that, like, the most popular guitar pedal brand since, like, the 80s is good, actually, is as controversial as saying Taylor Swift is good, actually.
Cardigan.
Maybe it's controversial to snobs, but who cares? Everything is controversial to snobs. That's why they're snobs.
What's a
So Jordan's point was that people shit on Boss pedals all the time, and I agree. People do shit on Boss pedals a lot, and those people are snobs. People do specifically shit on the Metal Zone, until they see people who actually know how to use it. That's true. I will agree with him on that one, but I still think that everything is going to be controversial to snobs, and that to say that something that's popular is good, actually, just in general, I kind of feel like that's not a controversial take by its very, like, existence. I just don't think you can say that something that's very popular is good is controversial. I don't think it's controversial to anybody but, like, critics and snobs. And I stand by it. Yeah. So let's see what's next. You're going to see the same intro a lot of times.
What's a controversial guitar opinion?
Might get some shit for this, but some of us do not like to play Eruption, Slayer, Stairway to Heaven, Freebird. Some of us are not a Spotify playlist that you can just press play on. One of my
He's not done.
live shows, I literally had someone say, if you don't know how to play Eruption, then your guitar is invalid. Everything you do is invalid. Fuck you, man.
Yeah, fuck that person.
If I'm
He's not
not
done.
having fun, I'm not gonna do it. I don't give a shit if people are saying, oh, well, you'll get more gifts, oh, you'll get more views. Yeah, and then I won't be me. I'll be what everybody else wanted me to be. Fuck that. You know, the only time
I wish I wasn't starting with such a profane one, because that might affect my ad revenue. Shit.
that I'll do other people's music is when I'm doing karaoke with, learning how to sing, because I think that's the best way to learn how to sing, personally. But if I don't have fun doing it, I'm not going to do it. I do not care.
What's a
Okay, so I would agree that, firstly, I don't know how I play any of those songs that he named either. I'm sure I learned Stairway to Heaven at some point. I never learned Eruption. There are parts of Freebird I learned at one point just because, like, I had to learn it in a guitar lesson. But, and I agree that if you're not having fun learning it, it doesn't matter. And, like, the idea that you have to know Freebird or Eruption or Stairway to Heaven to get gigs is wrong. That's just wrong. You have to learn whatever songs you have to play at the gig. Like, you're not going to get a gig in a Van Halen cover band, or tribute band, or like an 80s cover band if you can't play some of those songs. That's true. But when he says that the only time he plays covers is if he's doing karaoke and he thinks the best way to learn how to sing is to sing other people's songs, I think the best way to learn how to play guitar is to play other people's songs also. So I don't really jive with that logic. I think the best way to learn guitar is to play other people's songs. But yeah, still staying true to yourself, I think is important. I don't think the first part of his opinion it should be controversial. That like you don't have to learn like these iconic riffs. You don't have to learn those iconic riffs. I don't think there's anything bad about learning them, and I don't think that's the point he's making either. But I do think that the best way to learn guitar is to learn from these people who came before you, and to learn other people's stuff. You're not just gonna reinvent the wheel. Like you're not gonna make a better mousetrap starting out. Also, you cannot possibly make. Well, there's no such thing as a better mousetrap. The current mousetraps are great. That's a bad analogy. All right, what's next? Actually, I think I know what's next. I think it's my favorite.
What's a controversial guitar opinion?
All right, guys, I promise this is probably the last one. The
Last
reason
one.
why rock music isn't on the radio anymore is that guitar players are too busy trying to impress each other than to write actual songs that regular people want to hear.
I 100% agree with this in a lot of ways. I think that a lot of guitarists are more interested in showing off and shredding than creating riffs or music that serves the song. I truly do believe that. I just think it's part of the culture of one-upmanship, and it's part of the snob culture as well. And I think we're getting kind of farther away from that. One of the things I liked about She Shreds, and I still like about She Shreds, is that even though it's called She Shreds, it's the shredding to them was never about like a technical element. It was more about emotion, musicality, and just like doing your thing in a way that served the music. So I feel like that's kind of more important. I don't think that's the only reason you don't hear more rock music or more guitar and pop music. I feel like productions are often so big that there's not a lot of room for guitar and songs. But you look back to a lot of pop music from older days, and rock music really did feature the guitar, I think, most prominently, if we want to talk about guitar, as it's a popular guitar opinion. You look at some of the songs that have guitar in them now. Lizzo's Juice has guitar in it, and it's just a very nice laid back stuff. Some stuff. I think there was some Daft Punk that had some guitar in it, and it's very much like kind of laid back funk stuff. Nile Rodgers inspired disco kind of things, and you would see that a lot in kind of like snare hit, percussive kind of guitar stuff. It really existed to serve the song, less show off kind of things. But people, the thing about guitarists also is that you're up there, you're front of the stage, you're kind of a centralized part of the show, so you want to show off and be impressive. There's nothing wrong with wanting to be impressive. I want to be impressive when I'm on stage. I want to be a ham a little bit, and if you've seen me live, I can be a ham on stage. But it's about serving the music. Absolutely. And ultimately, I think that if you're just trying to show off, you're not doing that. You're making it less accessible to just casual listeners. And casual listeners are the ones who do the most of the music consumption in the world. And if you think that is going against your artistic vision, then obviously don't do that. But if what you want to do is make a living as a musician, then I'm sorry, you need to like create something that's a commercial product. Them's the breaks, kid. You can't if you want to make money with your art, you need to make art that people want to buy, or you need to do a better job selling it. Sorry, that's the hard thing to do. All right, let's see what's next.
What's a controversial guitar opinion?
Expressive playing and feel versus virtuosity and shredding are not mutually exclusive.
What's a
Yeah. I mean, I guess not. We often think of them as that way. I think it's easy to associate shredding with a very cold style of playing. I do. I think it's kind of hard to do both. It's very hard to do both. So it's very impressive when you can do both. I think Prince did both. I think Eddie Van Halen did both. I think a lot of the most famous players who were shredders did both.
What's a controversial guitar opinion?
Bass.
It is way too early for me to be dealing with this bullshit, but fuck it, here we go.
Oh my
if you
God.
say Squire is a good brand of guitar, you can suck my fat fucking...
Next.
What's a controversial guitar opinion?
All right. What the fuck is wrong with that guy? I just can't. All right. Yeah, I'm not going to fucking deal with that one. Also, we have to, dudes, I'm just going to say it. Should I say it? Should I say it? Should I say it? I'm really torn on whether or not I should say it. This is an opinion I hold. You gotta stop saying suck my dick as an insult. You gotta stop saying it. Because it's a nice thing to do for somebody. It's a nice thing that you want people to do. So if you want people to do it for you, you gotta stop saying it as an insult. Because it's either homophobic or just like, if you're gonna insult everyone who does it for you, why is anyone gonna do it for you? Stop using it as an insult. Also, Squire's awesome. What is, like, listen, you're getting extremely playable guitars for not a lot of money. They used to suck. But my first guitar was a Squire. It didn't turn me off playing like some shitty ass guitars do. Like, I got my first Squire Strat. I saved up money. I saved up allowance for like a year to buy that guitar. And it changed my life. And if it had been a shitty ass guitar, it probably would have turned me off guitar forever. That's a big problem. That's why I like when people like Ryan Burke get a shitty ass guitar and they release a video showing off the flaws and because the thing is, if somebody saved up their money, if I saved up my money for a year, got that guitar, I wouldn't be a player, and maybe some of you would be happy for that. Who knows? I'm gonna go up and pause that and see the comments. Much rather see a Squire than an Epiphone. Squire ain't bad for what it is. Someone just lists a bunch of people who play Squires who are famous. Let's see. Bro, all the new Squire shit is dope. Mac DeMarco plays a Squire. That's all I need. I love my Squires. Mine sounds great after I messed with it. Squires are great for people who don't have big money to spend. I will say the Affinity series, not so great, but anything from like Classic Vibe, Paranormal series up, I think those are great. But the thing is, like, you do have to put some work into them sometimes. Like, you can't expect perfection for the amount of money, but for what you get for the amount of money, I just think it's really hard to beat. Harley Bentons are also good, but the Harley Benton that I have weighs a fuck ton. Hurts my back.
What's a controversial guitar opinion?
Fender guitars that are made in Mexico are just as good, and sometimes even better, than made in America Fender guitars. There, I said it.
I like the upside down glasses. When they first like moved factories or something, they made some change at the Mexico factory. Like, there was some wackadoodle stuff, like, to be completely honest. Like, some nuts were slotted really weird. There were some big quality control issues there. But when I got the made in I have a couple of made in Mexicos. I have the Her Signature Strat for starters, and I have the Player Plus series Telecaster. Both of those I think are just phenomenal. The Player Plus, I don't know. Like, I think it's really nice. I couldn't find a flaw in it. Like, I don't know. There's not a flaw in it that has bothered me. Like, it has the nice rolled fret edges, great fretwork. The neck is really, I like it a lot. I've got no problems with it. But it's one of those things where, maybe earlier on, there were quality control issues and people are still like have trouble getting past it. Like, early modeling amps or early solid state amps not quite having the same like right sound, but now like the technology is pretty close, but people like have a hard time getting over things. So I feel like there's like a psychological block there that some people just have issues with. I had a friend who she said that her boyfriend was like, you need to get an American made, Telly. You need to get American made. And then she played my Player Plus and she's like, I think I'll save the extra $300 and just get one of these. And she's in love. She's in absolute love with it. Next.
What's a controversial guitar opinion?
I'm gonna ruffle some feathers with this one, but here we go. Gibson is trash, you're only paying for the name. Mexican-built Fender guitars are better than American-built Fender guitars.
Okay, so let's start with the Gibson one, because there's obviously, we already talked about the Mexican one. I don't know if I would say they're better, because I feel the Mexican and American Fender, I should say. Gibson is trash and you're only paying for the name. I don't think I can agree with that, because I've played some high-end Gibsons and whoo, them's nice. Them's real nice. And I've also played like that Les Paul Jr. For a while, and I really, really liked that. And then those were affordable. That was a really nice series. So also I don't know how controversial that is right now. I feel like it's pretty on brand for guitarists to shit on Gibson. Self-included.
Ball guitar strings suck.
Whoa. Ernie Ball guitar strings. We have a real edgelord on that one. Which ones? There's so many of them. I think they're fine. What? Just in general? All of them? Every single one? All of them suck. They all suck.
Crybaby wah pedals are garbage.
What? What? They're fine. They do their... I still really like them, though. I played, I think it was like the Jerry Cantrell signature wah. My label boss had one. I'm like, I think this is better. So, I mean, garbage? No. Maybe the most popular and most accessible? This guy's grumpy.
Boss pedals are actually the best pedals on the market. You just don't know how to use them.
Isn't that what the prompt was?
Or how to run them in sequence.
Yeah, okay.
When it comes to guitar amps, you get what you pay for. So go out there and spend at least $1,500 on a half stack. Not $200 on a Line 6 combo amp. They're garbage.
I mean, my first amp was like a Flex Tone 2, and I really loved it. But I mean, not everybody can afford a $1,500 half stack. So I will say, like, an amp being the base of your tone in a lot of ways, I would recommend, spend more money there. You're going to wonder why you sound like ass if you're playing through a really cheap, shitty amp. Can you even get a Line 6 combo amp for $200?
Ibanez guitars are overrated. I'm not sorry.
It probably depends on which one you get.
Companies like Paul Reed Smith are boring because every guitar looks the same, regardless of having different series and different models.
Yeah, I kind of feel that way about them too.
You don't need an expensive guitar to have a good sounding guitar. You can take a $100 guitar and throw a pair of Seymour Duncan Black Widow pickups in it. Best sounding guitar in the world.
This is metalhead. I like Seymour Duncan pickups. But I would still probably get more than $100 guitar, because then you have to invest a little bit in playability, and the $100 guitars probably aren't going to cut it.
If you're not making a living doing music and you buy a $3,000 guitar, it just shows that you have more money than talent.
Well, that's just rude. Some people have a lot of talent and just don't want to make a living doing it professionally. Some people don't want to ruin their hobby by monetizing it. And also, if you can afford nice things, then I don't think we should be shaming people for spending money and propping up the community and builders. Because sometimes those $3,000 guitars are small builders, and I think that we should not be shaming people for doing that.
Mesa Boogie is not as good as everybody thinks. It's just a cool name and it's fun to say.
It's pretty fun to say.
These are the best picks.
Wrong! Where's mine? These are the best picks. They're the little ones. Best picks. Wrong. Those are good.
I understand that it's backwards and blurry, but they are Dunlop Tortex.
Tortex is good.
And of course, everybody has their preferences. I prefer 1mm. You don't need a Telecaster to play country music. You can get the same tone with the right amp and the right pedals out of an Explorer, Flying V, a Firebird. Don't be afraid to be different.
Or a Jazzmaster. You can tell he's winding up for this one. You can tell. God, he has a lot.
You don't need to have your distortion and volume cranked to 11 for a good metal tone. You just don't know how to dial in your amp.
That's probably true. Look at Dog Cat.
Dogs are better than cats.
Ah, fuck this guy.
What's a controversial guitar opinion?
Shaming guitars for playing simple things is so stupid.
Yeah, it's stupid.
No one cares besides other guitars, and normal people don't want to hear you shred modal stuff over their favorite song.
Yep, that's true. He's
What's
right. That guy was 100% right. That shouldn't be controversial. That should not be controversial. Next.
What's a controversial guitar opinion?
The only wood on an electric guitar that actually matters is the fretboard, and any like extra money spent on like a Wenge body or something like that would probably be better spent on upgrading the electronics in the instrument. Also,
Yeah, maybe. Science is, I mean, pretty much in on that one, I think.
so Gibson fucking sucks.
Jesus. See, I don't think this is I don't think that's a controversial one. I think a lot of people just really don't like Gibson. OH.
Bucket. Spaghetti guitar strings.
What is happening? Okay,
What's a controversial guitar?
See, okay, so I just had to search like this person's username in Stitch to get all these stitches, and I guess someone stitched a different one of those guys' videos. So sorry.
Guitar opinion.
I'm not sure how many people I might offend with this, but hear me out. Just because you're technically skilled in whatever instrument you play or whatever genre of music you play, whether you're playing a freaking guitar or a bass or a piano or even a saxophone of all things for all I care, it doesn't make you a good player. Let me explain. It's one thing to have that technical skill in your hands or in your whatever it is. It really matters by the effort you put into it. And it makes a big difference because let's put this in the case of metal to make it.
Okay, that one's too long. Sorry. If your opinion's that. Okay, so I'm just going to ignore the example part, but I do think that the effort you put into something I think it matters more. And if that's like the point he's making, then I do agree with it. More than any sort of intrinsic talent or anything like that, I truly believe that how hard you work, to a point, matters a lot more. I mean, I went to high school with a girl I thought and still think to this day is probably smarter than me. But she didn't work as hard as I did in anything. As far as I could tell, like she would just literally not want to do assignments because she didn't feel like it. And I did the assignments and I got better grades. And she was constantly like mad that I did better than her. But I just worked a lot harder. And I just kept thinking, I still think you're smarter than me. We were very competitive. And I just worked harder. And so I just think that hard work goes a lot farther than skill. I think that the effort that you put into things can go a lot farther because in college I knew we had some really talented songwriters and stuff in our programs, and the ones that it seemed like a lot of the more talented ones who just had like this seemingly innate skill didn't have a lot of drive, and they didn't want to put a lot of effort. And so, of course, they never went anywhere. The other side of the coin, man, there were some people who just had, like, not a lot of skill and tried really hard, and they seemed to get a lot farther. And, but still didn't quite get there because they didn't have a lot of talent. So then when you took in the middle the people who had, like, a solid amount of skill and talent and, like, personality and chutzpah, mix that all together, those are the people who did really well. So that, if that's what he's saying, and I think it is, because, like, there's, like, minutes left on that video, like a minute and a half. Yeah, I agree with that.
What's a controversial guitar opinion?
Boss makes good pedals, you just don't know how to use them.
Okay, you, my friend, are absolutely right. Ever since I put that fucking metal zone in the send and return part of my DeVille, oh my god.
All right. I guess that's the end of the stitches. So yeah. All right. Well, that was fun. Let me know what you thought. Let me know if you liked the reacting to guitar TikToks. I can do more of those. I like watching TikToks, especially when they're guitar related. That was pretty fun. Yeah, thanks for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe below. Check me out on TikTok. The handle is Get Offset. You'll see a couple of videos on there. I do videos. Thanks for watching. Thanks for understanding. Please like, comment, subscribe below. Check us out at patreon.com/getoffset. Check out our merch at getoffsetpodcast.com/shop. And until next time, my name is Emily. Goodbye.